Let's talk about something really important today. It's about making sure that if you ever couldn't speak for yourself, your wishes for your health and personal care would still be heard loud and clear. So let's just start with this one simple but really powerful question. If you got to a point where you couldn't make your own decisions, who would be your voice? It's something every single one of us needs to think about. Now, right off the bat, I want to make something super clear. This conversation, it's not about planning for the end. Not at all. It's about planning how to live well, completely on your own terms, for your entire life. It's really about empowerment. Okay, so let's dive into what this planning for living well actually looks like. I know these can be tough conversations to get started, but they are such a vital part of taking care of yourself and honestly, taking care of the people you love too. You know, if you've ever felt like just sticking your head in the sand about this whole topic, you are definitely not alone. There's actually a name for it, ostrich syndrome. It's completely normal to feel a little hesitant, but today we're going to make it really simple and easy to approach. All right, in the world of healthcare, you might hear a lot of acronyms thrown around. Things like ACP and GOC. They can sound kind of confusing, right? But they're actually two very different things, and we're going to break it all down right now. Okay, so here's the main difference, plain and simple. Think of it like this. Advanced care planning, or ACP, that's the big picture conversation you have about the future while you're feeling well. But goals of care, or GOC, that's the specific talk you have with your doctor about a treatment decision that needs to be made right now. Future versus now. That's the key. So let's zoom in on ACP. This is your foundation. And it's not a one and done thing. It's an ongoing process. It really boils down to figuring out two main things. Number one, who's going to be your person? Who will speak for you? And number two, what really matters to you? What are your core values? And this is where all that groundwork you did with ACP really comes into play. A goals of care discussion is when your doctor takes all those values you already talked about and uses them to suggest a treatment plan that actually fits you and what's happening in the moment. It's how your past wishes guide your present care. Now, this next point is absolutely crucial. I really want you to hear this. Just talking about your wishes, planning for them, that is not the same as giving legal consent for a future treatment. Only you, or the person you've chosen to speak for you, can give consent for a specific treatment right when that decision needs to be made. Which, of course, brings us to maybe the single most important choice you're going to make in this entire process, picking the person who will literally be your voice. So, this person has an official title. They're called your substitute decision maker, or SDM. Put simply, they're the one person with the legal power to make healthcare decisions for you. But, and this is a big but, only if a time comes when you can't make them for yourself. So you might be wondering, what happens if I don't legally name someone? Well, in Ontario, the law has a default list, a hierarchy of who gets asked. But the most important thing to see here is that you have the power to jump the line. By legally naming an attorney for personal care, you put your person right near the top. If you don't, it just automatically goes to the next person on the list. A spouse, a kid, a sibling, whether or not they're really the best fit, or even know what you'd want. This is your chance to choose, instead of leaving it all up to chance. So when you're thinking about who to pick, what really matters? Well, of course, they need to be willing and able to do it. But here's the absolute most important part. They have to be someone who will honor your wishes, even if it's not what they would choose for themselves. Their job isn't to pick what they want. Their job is to be a fierce advocate for what you want, based on your values. Okay, so we've covered the what and the who of planning. But let's get real. How in the world do you actually start these conversations? It can feel a little awkward, so let's check out some simple, practical ways to get the ball rolling. I love this one because it's so simple and gentle. It doesn't sound like a demand, it's an invitation. When you ask for someone's help, you're telling them you value them, and it makes them a partner in the conversation right from the start. Here's another super easy one. Hey, you can even use this explainer as your excuse. Just saying, I learned something really interesting today and wanted to tell you about it is such a natural, low-pressure way to bring it up without it feeling all heavy and serious. And, when you do start talking, here's a little tip. You don't have to jump straight into talking about specific medical treatments. Instead, just focus on your values. A simple question like, hey, what makes a really good day for you, can tell you so much. Is it being in your garden, hearing your favorite music, just having your family around? That's the stuff that really matters. It can help to think about our wishes in, say, three main buckets. There's connection, things like wanting your family with you. Then there's comfort, the desire to be free from pain or feel at peace. And finally, dignity, the need to be treated with respect and feel like you have some control. Thinking in these categories can make it way easier to figure out and then say what's truly important to you.
As we start to wrap this up, I really want to reframe this whole thing. This isn't a chore. It's not some sad task you have to check off a list. It really truly is the gift of planning.
Seriously, by taking the time to have these conversations and make these plans, you are giving one of the most incredible, most profound gifts you can possibly give to the people who care about you. You're giving them clarity, you're giving them peace of mind. And what does that gift actually do? Well, it takes away that awful burden of them having to guess what you would have wanted. It helps prevent arguments or conflict in the family when things are already stressful. And most importantly, it makes sure that the care you get is the care you actually want, care that honors the person you are. So, I'll just leave you with this thought. You have lived your entire life your own way, with your own beliefs, your own style, your own values. The only question left is, who are you going to choose to protect that legacy? Who will you trust to make sure your story continues to be told your way?